I'm Nicole, 32.
The sun is shining brightly through the window, casting a warm glow over my kitchen. I'm sitting at the table, sipping my coffee and looking at the calendar on the wall. It's been 6 months since that fateful Christmas, and so much has changed. As I reflect on that day, my mind takes me back to the long drive through the snow to my parents' house. I was gripping the steering wheel tightly, my knuckles turning white. Beside me, my husband Mark reached over and squeezed my hand. "You okay?" he asked quietly. "Fine," I lied, watching the wipers battle against the gentle snowfall. In the back seat, my children Lily, 10, and Ben, 7, were clutching their homemade Christmas gifts. Lily had spent hours making a beautiful knitted scarf, and Ben had painted a picture of our family. I reminded them gently, Christmas isn't about expensive gifts. It's about being together. Lily nodded solemnly, her young face carrying a wisdom beyond her years. "Presents, not presents," she repeated, our family mantra since Mark's construction company cut overtime hours 3 months ago. When we finally arrived at my parents' house, I felt a knot in my stomach. Their house was always perfect, with expensive decorations and a grandeur that made me feel out of place. My mother, Margaret, opened the door before we even rang the bell. She was dressed in a designer suit, her hair perfectly coiffed. "There you are," she said, kissing my cheek. "Remember, we all agreed no gifts this year." I felt a wave of relief, but I knew deep down that it might not last. My father, Richard, emerged from his study. He was a successful businessman, always focused on appearances. He patted Ben on the head and gave Lily a half-hearted hug. Then he turned to me and started talking about his latest business deal, as if to remind me of his superiority. We settled in, and the minutes ticked by with small talk. But then, the front door burst open without a knock. My younger sister, Samantha, swept in like a hurricane. She was married to a wealthy man, and they always flaunted their money. Her 2 teenage sons followed behind, carrying armfuls of expensive presents. "We're here," Samantha announced, as if her arrival was the highlight of the day. My mother clapped her hands excitedly. "Let's open gifts." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I glanced at Mark, whose jaw tightened slightly. Our children emerged from the playroom, confusion etched across their faces as they watched their cousins pile presents under the tree. "I thought we agreed no gifts," I said quietly to my mother. My father sighed dramatically. "Don't start, Nicole. You always take things too seriously." Samantha shot me a smug look. "Relax. It's Christmas. We just did what we could." As the cousins tore through the wrapping paper, revealing high-end electronics and designer clothes, Lily clutched her knitted scarf tighter, and Ben inched closer to me, his small hand slipping into mine. Memories of a lifetime of being overlooked and taken for granted flooded my mind. When I was 16, I gave up my dream of going to art school so Samantha could study abroad. "You're so selfless," my mother had said, but it felt like a burden. At 25, I lent Samantha a large sum of money to start a business that failed, and she never paid me back. Watching my children's disappointed faces, something inside me snapped. I helped them into their coats and announced softly, "We're heading home early. The kids have schoolwork to do." My mother protested, "But we haven't even had dessert. You can enjoy our gifts." "Merry Christmas," I replied, my voice steady and firm. In the car, Ben's small voice broke the silence. "Are we poor, Mom?" I met Mark's eyes in the rear view mirror. "No, honey," I answered, reaching back to squeeze his knee. "We just believe some things are worth more than stuff." That night, after the kids were asleep, I couldn't sleep myself. I sat at the kitchen table, opening my bank app. I started to see all the money I'd spent on my parents and sister over the years, paying for my mother's spa treatments, my sister's credit card bills. I created a spreadsheet titled Reclaiming and began to document every expense. It was a long, painful process, but with each entry, I felt a sense of clarity. I started canceling subscriptions and removing authorized users from accounts. By morning, I'd severed many of the financial ties that had bound me for so long. Mark stood in the doorway, his hair rumpled from sleep. "There will be fallout," he warned gently. "I know," I replied, "but I can't let them make our children feel bad anymore." Sure enough, the next day, my phone started ringing non-stop. My mother's texts were full of anger and guilt, tripping. "What have you done? You're ruining the family." My sister's messages read, but I ignored them. I was done being the doormat. As the weeks passed, the family drama continued. My relatives spread rumors about me, saying I was being selfish and ungrateful. But I also received support from some unexpected places. My Aunt Helen sent me a message saying, "Good for you, Nicole. I've been through the same thing." Then came the children's winter recital. I invited my parents, but I made it clear, no gifts, please. When they arrived, my sister still tried to bring presents for the kids. I stepped in between them and said firmly, "We said no gifts. Please respect that." Samantha got angry, but I stood my ground. My mother lingered, watching Lily and Ben perform. She finally said, "They worked so hard." I nodded. Yes, they did. That's worth more than any gift. 3 days after the recital, my parents showed up unannounced at my house. My father demanded, "We need to talk. This has gone on long enough." I took a deep breath and showed them the spreadsheets, documenting all the money I'd spent on them over the years. My father was shocked. "We didn't see it as taking advantage," he said. "We just thought you could afford it." I explained calmly, being capable doesn't mean I should carry everyone's burden. I have my own family to take care of now. I laid out the boundaries I wanted. No more financial expectations, equal treatment, and respect for our roles. My father sank into the couch, looking defeated. "So, where does this leave us?" he asked. "That depends on you," I replied. "I've set my boundaries. The next step is yours." Now, 6 months later, things are different. My parents are starting to respect my boundaries. They call before they come over, and they don't expect me to solve all their problems. Our family has started going on weekend getaways, and Lily and Ben are taking swimming lessons. Mark is working towards a promotion at his job, and I feel a new sense of freedom and peace. I know there will still be challenges ahead, but I'm ready to face them. I've learned that love without boundaries isn't love, it's servitude. And I'm determined to make sure my family always has the space to breathe and grow.